Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're reacting to Red Velvet or Irene and Seulgi's Naughty choreography video. The last two that I reacted to, which were Crazy by LE SSERAFIM and then Stay Tonight by Chungha, I reacted to the music videos, and a lot of you in the comments were telling me that I should react to the full dance or choreography videos instead. I do have a reason for why I reacted to the music videos instead. For me, I'm as interested to see the way that things end up in the final edit, post-filming, post-editing, and cinematography and all of that, as much as I am the actual choreography itself, because I think it's equally as much of a component. But today we are watching the choreography video, especially for this one. The music video itself, as far as I remember, is pretty choreography heavy anyway, so I figured I may as well just watch the choreography video to really get into the details, to see how they used kind of Vogue, if they do. But yes, this one, I will be honest up front, I have seen the music video a long time ago. Once upon a time, I was actually supposed to cover this for one of the K-pop cover groups back here when I was in college, way back in, I don't know, 2019, 2020 something. But yes, I am very excited to see this with fresh eyes. And also, I don't think I've ever watched the choreography video, so let's get into it. Sorry, I tried to pause, it didn't work. Before we get any further, I just want to talk a little bit about what I'm seeing so far. I think this is kind of a combination of what we would call arms control and tutting. So arms control in Vogue is something that is associated with new way and old way, whereas with Vogue Femme, you have hand performance. With arms control, you're looking at a lot of kind of geometric shapes, lines, boxes, illusions. So they did stuff like this, which also showed up in the Stay Tonight. They've done a lot of sort of box kind of illusions over here, all of this stuff. Those are all things that you would find in both, in some cases, tutting and new way. There are some moves in here that I identify more as tutting movements or any of the other subgenres of tutting. And then there's some here that strike me more explicitly like this, again, as a new way kind of movement. So I think there's inspiration being pulled from both, and that's not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. It's just something to point out. Another thing that I will talk about right away that I love is that they're creating images off of each other. So with both of these styles and with all these styles, a lot of it is about kind of posing and creating shapes and images. And it's really interesting the way that they're able to use two bodies to create sort of these compound images that you wouldn't be able to make with one person. I'm noticing that just in the first 30 seconds. I'm sure there's more afterwards, but that's just something to watch out for as well, because I think it's really smart choreography and staging as well. Okay, back to the video. Okay, partner dance. Fun isolation. So good. That part is so good. Sorry, I'm gonna pause again. One more thing to notice here is the way that they're using the camera and the cinematography very consciously. So like turning the camera inside with this sort of finger move. It's really, really cool. And I think it's something that I honestly wish we saw more of, which is this sort of synergy between the choreography and then the cinematography and the filming. Honestly, it's something that I see a lot more in K-pop than I do in American music videos or American dance videos or whatever. I find that a lot of times you have the dancers who are being led by the choreographer or the movement director or the creative director, and then you have the cinematography, which is a completely separate department. And outside of maybe some sort of interplay between those two teams, there's not a whole lot of intentional sort of conversation between the two. A lot of the times it's literally just, okay, you guys go do the dance, we'll film it, and we'll play around with what we want with filming, and hopefully it matches up with what you want to do dance-wise. But seeing stuff like this that's super intentionally kind of combining the two is really sick. All right, we'll get back to it. Fun. See, again. So good. Fun. Variation. Those boxes are very new wave. Sorry, I'm going to pause. I'm also not going to apologize anymore. That's what I'm here for. But yes, so all of these kind of boxes that they're doing are very new way to me. I would say one thing, and this is not a hard and fast rule, but I would say if I had to speak in very general terms, a lot of tutting movement specifically tends to be a bit more internal, a bit more inside. Not necessarily, again, but just on average, whereas a lot of new way lines and boxes are a lot more about big kind of sweeping motions that you can't see because my camera frame is too small. But one of the reasons for that, and this is something that's really interesting to consider, is where are these dances taking place, right? In a tutting battle format, usually you're gonna have one-on-one. So everyone, the judges, the audience, everyone is looking at you and only you. Whereas in Vogue, even in Vogue New Way or Vogue Old Way, when you have a battle, there's two people dancing at once. So there is a lot of necessity to really stand out from your opponent, to really make a moment and to be big. And one of the ways to be big is to have your movements be bigger. So a lot of the times you'll see in Vogue battles where it's like, if you watch it after the fact, maybe you think this person was doing a bunch of really cool stuff, but it was so internal that the judges were paying attention to the other person. So this is one of the things that often sort of shows up when we're looking at kind of dance history and the evolution of a style in dance, is that the technique is informed by the medium. It's informed by the place, the constraints of where the dance is taking place. Is it a battle scenario or is it one by one? Is it something that's being filmed or is it something that's happening live? Are the judges standing here or are they all around? Are they, I don't know. It's like, oh, the shape of the stage is another huge one, right? If you have to go up an entire stage, there's probably a good chance that your dance style is gonna include an element that allows you to traverse a lot of space really quickly. Whereas if you have a very, very kind of small or like circular space where you don't have to move around, it's much less likely that it's gonna be an integral part of the dance form because there's no need to move a large distance. Anyways, huge tangent, let's get back to the video. Such a good chorus. Again, big movements. Face framing, very Vogue. This is more tutting to me. Finger tutting. Really cool compound shapes. This chorus is so hard. Ugh, so good. Honestly, a classic. I would say probably one of the more difficult choreos that I've seen from K-pop in general, especially one that has Vogue in it. A lot of times they opt for a little bit of easier kind of movements, and for them to master this, I think is obviously super impressive. It's obvious that they have previous experience in some form of these styles, and it's really cool to see that on a mainstream artist. This was, as I said before, to me, sort of a combination of a little bit of inspired by Vogue New Way, arms control, as well as tutting, And you also see some kind of more traditional like K-pop industry dance moves, like in the chorus, what their body and their legs are doing, the sort of hip type movement. It's not really that much of Vogue. I would say it sort of veers into Vogue Femme territory, but not really, and I don't think it's supposed to. That's just sort of a dance choreography staple interplayed with these sort of techniques that are taken from tutting or from Vogue New Way. I think it was executed really well. Again, I really love the way that the shapes were created with multiple bodies at once. I think it creates a lot of interesting images, and it's also something that is very evocative of Vogue. If you see what they're called Vogue pyramids, which you see a lot in Old Way, where one person might be on the floor, on the bottom, one person is mid-level behind them, maybe one person is standing, and they're all doing these shapes and boxes that are interplaying off of each other's limbs, off of each other's bodies, and creating these sort of compound shapes that you couldn't create with just one body. So that reminded me of that a lot. I think there's a lot of things in this video that really successfully pull from those images and those references without necessarily being overt. But yeah, this is like, to me, one of my favorite choreographies in K-pop of all time. It's something that I've appreciated before doing this video. Getting to analyze it in depth has made me have an even greater appreciation for it. I would love to look into who choreographed this. Let me actually do that right now. Who choreographed? I should probably just edit this out, but whatever. Naughty. Oh, Spella. Okay, I love Spella. Spella is a tutter mostly that I know of, but I know that they're not completely, I would say, unaware of or removed from the ballroom scene or from the techniques of New Wave Vogue. And that's not necessarily to say that she's a part of the ballroom scene. That's not something that I know or can say personally, but in specifically a lot of the East Asian dance scenes, people from ballroom came over and taught a lot of the technique, as well as I'm assuming people from tutting communities in the United States. And over time, there has been sort of a proliferation of styles that combine a lot of these ideas without them necessarily being part of the community. And I'm not saying that she is or she isn't, but it would not surprise me if she learned from people who learned from people who were Voguers or some other sort of lineage thereof. That has happened in a lot of cases with a lot of the styles that you see like this in Japan and in Korea, just because of the way that these people came over to East Asian countries and taught workshops and whatever, and then that knowledge sort of filtered through individual choreographers' tastes and styles, and became sort of styles of their own. But yeah, again, amazing video, amazing choreography, great job, Spella, obviously. She doesn't need me to tell her that. She knows she's incredible. It's really cool seeing those styles on like a mainstream video, like I've said. And yeah, please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these. Please feel free to let me know down below what other videos you want me to react to. They don't all have to be positive either. I won't be that mean for anyone because I'm over being mean, but I will be more critical if there's something to be more critical of. It's just that all these have been really incredible so far. And then also, if you are interested in learning Vogue Femme or Vogue Hands or Vogue Arms or New Way or anything else, feel free to become a member of the channel. I do a full-length tutorial every single month. I think it's $10 a month to join, and you'll have access immediately to all the videos I've done in the past. I started in like May, I think, so you have already 4 full-length videos just upon joining. I'm coming out with a new one probably in the next week. Then there will be one every month going forward. So you can either stay subscribed, take a class every month for $10. It's a great deal even that way. Or you can just subscribe once, learn them all in the course of the month and cancel, and you get 5 classes for $10. So with that being said, hope to see y'all around. Recommend me anything else. Thank you for being here. Goodbye.